Firstly, I'd like to apologize. There's probably going to be a lot of glare in this video. The light is literally right there, and this is a good place in terms of just actual light. So sorry if it's hard to see, but we should be good to go once we're no longer just staring at blank screens. Now, I've actually done this video before. This is my Pixel 4, and I have replaced the battery in it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a genuine battery, which I'm okay with third-party batteries, but it was defective. So the battery that's currently in here is the one that I bought maybe 7 or 8 months ago, and it barely holds a charge. And the reason that I've decided to even try this again, and I will say the seller of this defective battery did refund me the amount, and they said don't even worry about sending it back, just here's your money back. So I'm okay with that. But the reason that I'm doing this is after getting the Pixel 8, which is right here, yes, it's an okay device, and yes, I have done my unboxing video and kind of initial impressions, but the one thing that I really dislike about Google as a whole is the fact that they just kill things so quickly. So the special thing about the Pixel 4 is the fact that it has the appropriate hardware for face unlock, and you're probably seeing it right there up at the top. Every time I wake the screen, it's looking for a face because it has the dedicated hardware to actually try to unlock the phone using your face versus these other devices. And it's not just Google, but other Android devices that are using software to try to unlock your phone. And literally today, I read an article. Well, I saw the headline. I'll read the article later. It looks like somebody's already found a way to break the face unlock on the Google Pixel 8. So it just made me a little reminiscent about the Pixel 4. And I said, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and give it a try. See if I can replace this battery and hope that it's actually not defective this time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I do have my iFixit toolkit here. But since I don't have a dedicated overhead camera, we'll be cutting in and out for various sections of the battery replacement. So first thing first, turn off the phone and we'll be removing the back. I am happy that the way Google designed this, there is a ribbon cable, but it's pretty much out of the way. So when you are prying around the sides, you won't really hit it. But it is there, and it looks like it's connected to the motherboard, and it's connecting the rear flash to the motherboard. So I'm going to remove what looks like 2 small, maybe Phillips screws or Torx, I can't tell, and remove the bracket, and then I'm going to pop that little ribbon cable off. Now, it is recessed in there, the little ribbon cable, so be careful. I actually ripped it out. I mean, it's not damaged, but when I was pulling the glass off of the adhesive around the frame, the ribbon cable just came out. So be careful. It is pretty delicate. And the screws that were holding that little bracket in place were not Phillips. They were little Torx screws. So keep that in mind right there. But pretty simple. The next thing I'm going to do is remove this little panel right here. And the battery connector should be under this little panel right here. And again, it looks like more Torx screws. Looks like this little guy right here is the actual battery connector. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that one right there. Yep. And that's what the frame looks like without the battery. And as I mentioned, this was a replacement part. So there was no adhesive keeping this battery in place. So it just popped out. So now I'm going to have to align the new ribbon cable, which I don't know why it's all jacked up like that. So hopefully it's not damaged or anything. But I do remember when I was installing this one, it definitely was a little finicky based off of its location. Now, we have it in, and it's not fitting the way that it should in terms of battery placement. The connector is connected, but what's going to end up happening is I put the bracket on top of this little section right here, and once I put the back panel on, everything for the most part should stay pretty secure. Before I do any of that, I am going to turn it on just to make sure it actually functions. All right, and here we have it. It is powered on. When I first put the battery in, pressing held the power button, maybe I didn't hold it long enough, but it wasn't responsive. And then when I actually plugged it in, it showed that the battery was present, it showed that it was charging, and it said that it had 83% power. So I'm going to actually put everything back on, and then I'm going to let it charge. And I believe instructions that I've seen say you should let it charge, for hours on end and then let it drain all the way down to 0, then charge it all the way back up again. So I think I'm going to do that and hope that we'll have a functioning Pixel 4. So right now I have the flashlight on because that one ribbon cable in the back that's connected to the rear glass is the one I had difficulty reconnecting. So I figured I'd go ahead and just ensure that that actually works. And in fact, right there, you can see the date says December 15th. I don't remember if that was the date that I actually last did anything with this phone, but it's been a while. Now, in closing, there is one thing that I really would like to praise Google about when it comes to this particular device, because I'm thinking about the other ones, and the Pixel 3 also, you could open the phone from the rear, and as we all know, the battery is something that is going to degrade over time, so there's no reason to have to go in through the front, which means through the screen, the most expensive part of the phone, not including maybe like the processor or something, but the most expensive part of the device that somebody might actually damage. There's no reason for us to have to open the phone through the front. And when you do that, you just further the likelihood of something wrong happening. So yeah, I really do appreciate the fact that we can open the phone through the rear. And with the newer phones, you got to go in through the front. Actually, yeah, you do. You have to go in through the front. Kudos to Apple for bringing it back, the option to actually go in from the rear for the 14, and I think for all of the 15s now. So it's good. Makes sense. But I'm going to continue playing around with this, and we'll see exactly what happens. And as you can see right there, like I said before at the beginning of the video, this phone has the dedicated hardware to actually scan your face to unlock it, as opposed to trying to implement a software unlock, which the Pixel 8 does, and it looks like somebody has already found a way to crack that face unlock.